Good morning, everyone. My name's Anne-Marie Band. Today is May the 31st, and this is the Moneyball Morning Report for the Benzinga Pro platform. Charts are going to load a little slowly because my internet is down and I'm actually hotspotting to get this out, so fingers crossed that it actually even gets to us before the open. All right, what are we looking at? Savage down day yesterday. Well, not really savage, but, pretty hefty. We came into the tips of heavy congestion in the past and rolled over. This morning, we did talk about 521, didn't we? So 521 is that critical zone, comes into maybe 518.50 on the lower edges, but take a look. See what trend? Trend is up to flat. When we break the trend of an upward motion, we are looking for support, but it's going to want to buy these areas that allow it to recover because we are in a buy the dip formation in general. Okay, so we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 5 of the last 7 days being down to flat, and so this should be fairly sideways to me. Any big spikes I anticipate pulling back. We do have a big number. I think it maybe just came out, right? What was that number? Or is it coming later today? Hang on. Personal income and outlays, Chicago PMI. Yeah. So that number came out, and obviously the market feels like that's a good number. And so here we are, popping into potentially 523. What is the overall formation? Okay, trend is flat to up, so we know it's a buy the dip. Momentum is flat to down, meaning that we could have sellers here, but we could also have sellers here that push us to test a little further down. Friday's normally trend. Let's see what Edgeful says by weekday on the SPY over the gap fill. We have a gap up. Currently, 65% of the time in the last year, that gap up has faded and filled. That's interesting. And let's go by, let's say for the last 6 months, only 47% of them have filled. We've had very bullish motion over the last 6 months. And over the last 3 months, also fairly bullish. Only 38% of them have filled, right? 8 gaps up, only 3 of them faded. So what we want to do is take a look at the opening tick in the morning. As long as our 9:30 open holds as the low of the day, we're going to have good solid upside motion. If it breaks, it means we go sideways. So lines in the sand again, 518, 521, 525, and 528. All right? That's how it looks today. Could be very choppy. We have weekly OPEX, we have the end of the month, and we have end of the month rebalancing. A lot of my trader friends who've been around in the business for a long time do not trade on the last day of the month. It's just super messy. Take a look at the cues. Upward trend, upward momentum, though dipping. And so that means we could still see a lower low, but a bounce occurring at that edge. All right? So what are we looking at here? Edges, 449, 446 on the low end, 453 critical mass, right? I think 453 to 454, a big number to see if we get through. If we can't, we really need to think about trading a sideways range or just shorting the bounces. If we head higher, 456, 459, what do you want to look for? Look for that 930 open. If it stays above this, I think 450, we've got ourselves a shot at a pretty good upside day. All right, or at least holding these edges. Everything looks bullish, so the dips are still buy zones. We've just in a little bit of a sideways patch. All right, let's take a look at the ES. Levels to watch in the ES. Well, take a look at that. That's very interesting. It came right into this ledge. So I am going to remove that channel and remove this channel because these big channels are the ones that are continuing to work. Let's move it out here. Right, came right into the edge, and popped. So what are the lines we're looking at? Deep low below looks like 52.11, 52.23. Somebody says the Fibonacci, 51.94, low edge of the game. But right here, 52.28 seems like a really good floor for the day. What do the traders want to get through? 52.72. Yesterday, we had literally thousands of orders going off. Excuse me, thousands of contracts going off. Thousands of orders, yes, but big contracts going off right at that edge at 52.72. If we breach that and we head up to 52.80 and we can't lose 52.70 again, this is going to be a rocket ship up to 53.10 to 53.20. That's my supposition in the day. All right, so far we're coming right into a key zone that had buyers all day long yesterday. So let's watch for them to break and then consider what they're going to do on the next upshot. My thought would be, you know what, that's a little negative, that's fading down. Let's watch for the press up into that 77 zone and short it. And if it does not hold 70, we're in good shape. If it continues, if it all of a sudden holds and then breaks to the north, we know we've got to get out of Dodge. All right, let's take a look at the NQ. As we sit here, where'd the NQ come down to? That's a pretty deep dip, right? This wick monster. Let's see where it goes. Ooh, look at that. Right there into this edge. Man, oh man, if we look to the left, there are so many things to find. It is just insane. All right, let's put this one next as the next ledge. So we've got 18,385 well below, 18,487 on a deep support edge. We've got 18,560, which I kind of like for a trade to hold, pull back on the bounce, and maybe we can get long from there. Let's see. It's maybe the close of the prior day. That's 586. That means the gap fade to bounce, okay? And that would be fantastic. Right now, 685, I mean, that short yesterday was easy money. It certainly was easy money, and it went right down into the 600 zone, and I know Coach Dakota was calling that number. He had a 30 lot on from the 700s, so, you know, I'm sure he made a boatload yesterday. That kid is a rock star. Unbelievable. If you haven't seen him, Top Step TV, he's got his own show called Slow Markets, but Dakota comes on at 9. And yeah, you better check him out. So 685, there it goes to the top end. And then that, you know, if it holds there, it's going to go up to 750 is my thought, right? Because these shorts are flat-footed. But bullish, deep dips, going to find the buy zones. Deep dips find the buy zones. And so that's what we're looking at. Resistance, I don't know. If it doesn't get cut off at the 700 area, we're looking at 18,800 above. All right, let's take a look lastly at the YM. Don't have time to look at oil or gold today. YM is just going crazy right here, right? Take a look at how bearish this is. It is trying to create a floor. We did talk about that yesterday. I said, hey, listen, you know, this is old resistance, support, resistance, support. Traders are going to try and duke it out. What might be a really nice line in the sand? If it comes back to 38,137, great. Right now it's battling above the high of yesterday. If it's like everything else, everybody else in each of the other indices are looking for shorts, we need to consider that. And so maybe we wait for the dip, 38,200, something like that, to give us upside pressure in that formation. All right. So the lines below 37,394, 38,137, that ought to be some kind of floor, 38,200, and then a big rocket up, 38,635 and 38,900. That's what we're staring down in the YM. It is much more bearish than the others, but today it's sitting above that VWAP And so pullbacks, as long as it doesn't lose the floor, the pullbacks are going to give us buy zones. Watch your risk. Don't trade big size. It's the end of the month. And OPEX could be very, very wonky. See you on the streams, everyone.